Hello, we are back for the third and final series of the night. It's going to be Nongshim Esports Academy up against Kwangdong Freaks. This is going to be an interesting one, Wolf. We've had first versus second, third versus fourth, and now fifth versus seventh. Still should be pretty close.
Should be close. I really enjoyed some of the experimentation we saw from Hanwha Life in our last series. Second game looked pretty rough. Didn't work out as well without the Maokai, but, you know, they made it work anyways.
Yeah.
With some good plays from the top laner. And going to this one, expectations definitely a little bit lower in terms of level of play, but I think we'll actually get some more back and forth gameplay. Might get to play our who do you think will win if you had to pick right now kind of game.
Yeah. We could have done that in the second game of the last series, I guess.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like that was going to be a fun game at the time. Like, we would both just been like, well, yeah, we're going to game 3, obviously.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. Unless I was like, no, actually, I knew it was going to be.
Yeah, I read the script. You know, I have access to such things, so I know who's going to win, how many games are on a certain day, if there's going to be a pause, who's going to get POG.
Whether or not they can say Giga Chat in the chat, like he's got control over this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have control over that, no.
Is it raining tomorrow or no?
No.
See, he knows everything.
It's not raining tomorrow. I checked my files.
Cool. All right, here's our standings. So with that win for Hanwha Life, they actually passed T1 and will take third place. So top 3 looking pretty interesting here for challengers right now. And on the side of Kwangdong here in our 5 versus 7th, they're on the lower part of this, but with a win, they can get one step closer or a game ahead right now. So will not actually be passing anybody just yet, but they'll be able to, you know, get closer to DRX. We'll play later on. Tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, actually. So we'll see how this series goes. Nongshim, I think, kind of underperforming this season so far. Our expectations were high for them based on the roster they replaced fully going to this season, and their start to this season against DRX was very good, but a little bit of an underperformance. Still a relatively unknown roster. I actually do not know if Calyx will be starting again today. I assume so. I haven't checked the paper. On paper, he should be starting, but I actually haven't checked the paper. Okay. We haven't been notified, so...
Yeah, I'm going to say that he is...
I'd say a pretty good chance. We'll find out very shortly here, so...
Based on this other paper that I have, seems like a yes. But Nongshim Red Force up against Kwangdong Freaks. Both of these teams do use a slightly red color.
There he is. Confirmed.
I just know these things, you know. I just have access to all the information.
He's a very young player. One of the younger players that people are really excited about coming into Challengers right now. And I do believe that the potential is definitely there for this guy. He had some kind of shaky laning phases, but his decision-making going into mid and late was pretty amazing, honestly. Silas is a scary thing to face. I believe he played Syndra as well, and it was, you know, that was not as impressive for me. But on this roster, I think a lot of people looking at Bull as a big standout. Lancer now replacing Ilma in the top lane. He's been the consistent mainstay. I don't know what is happening to Ilma, where he is in terms of where Kwangdong puts him. But Courage is a player I look out for always on this team. I think Courage has a lot of potential as a jungler. I shouted him out as one of the, you know, if I had to pick like maybe one player who might be in the LCK soon and might make a very strong career very early, like Courage is one of those guys to me. As we're getting some details.
Stats, Wolf. This is pretty.
It means there's no key players, which is I think we have some mismatches across the rift, and maybe we would have taken mid, but Calyx is so new, doesn't have a lot of stats.
Freaks end the game quickly. They also lose the game quickly. They have a very low average game time. The average in Challengers is, I saw it earlier, it was like 32 minutes, 40 seconds. So Nongshim a bit above the average, Kwangdong below.
Significantly below. First blood, both sitting at 7 first bloods of the total games. So it's a stat that in really snowballing metas like the one that we are maybe on our way out of is very important. So one to keep an eye on. Both of these teams, again, below it average in terms of stats as well. 3-3, 2-4. Nongshim can actually move from a neutral record to a winning record if they can take this one here. So move into the draft, see if the trends do continue, as Maokai still continues to be a menace.
Yeah, Maokai should be very much permabanned in my mind. I mean, there are so many strong picks, but Maokai seems to be one of them, and it just feels like the longer we go, the more that becomes a thing. As both Caitlyn and Varus banned here by Nongshim. Maybe some Zeri action from them, or maybe just good old Lucian.
Could be. Hard to tell at this early stage. Is no Akali for Calyx. And there's the Ashe, so kind of removing all 3 S-tier bottom laners / support in the Ashe case, I suppose. Is do see the Elise ban now, so 2 jungles against Soundy here. Pretty easy Rise first pick if you just want to play reactionary, but you can also try to level out the jungle field. We've seen a lot of success with Wukong even on the previous patch here in the LCK.
Oh.
That's pretty high prio for Mihai. Pretty high prio on the Cassante. Pretty wide open.
Yeah.
You can see the Kwangdong players a little bit surprised by this. We don't normally see this that high up in the draft.
Yeah, seems like it gets banned pretty often. Against Mihail. It is his most played, 7 games. He's 4-3 on the pick. So it has been going pretty well for them.
Could just be a Lucian setup here for Kwangdong Freaks now. Take the Sejuani Lucian. Could also see a setup with, you know, something like a Lucian and Wukong if that's what you want. But they want to make sure they get this Gnar here. And just want to react to the AD carry setup here because Yuumi, not very strong right now, but the Wukong pick does kind of lean towards potentially a Zeri setup. Problem is you're not going to get your support here, so this is going to get really awkward. They're like, oh, I picked Zeri, and it's like, you can't have Lulu, but it's like, well, you can't have Nami, and what's going to happen? So I think we're going to see something interesting here in the bottom lane.
Yeah. Just go ahead and pick Rise or Sylas. You were talking about Calyx's Sylas. He's going to get his hands on that pick already, and it was wide open with Gnar being picked.
Not a big fan of this one. This is a interesting choice. Well, there's the insta-lock Yone into Sylas. Very good matchup for Sylas. Don't think we're going to be seeing Gnar mid. Don't think so.
Also, you blind picked, well, you didn't blind pick Gnar, but you picked Gnar when Sylas was available. We've already seen that's a big issue in the LCK. I would imagine that these players can also, especially Calyx, who has already proven as Sylas is pretty cracked, as the kids are saying.
Yeah, and you've already locked in Sejuani as your jungler, so this is not some moment where you can go like, okay, we're getting like the Nidalee Yone, like old school Yone release kind of comp here. Very much trying to figure out what this means. As obviously the Karma, the Lulu, the champs that are going to pair well with the Zeri, kind of taken away. You take away Wave Clear here, take away the Lulu for the Zeri, weakening some of the meta AD carry picks instead of trying to guess what those AD carry picks are going to be. The Heimerdinger ban is also kind of like, well, if you ban Heimer, we got to ban Karma because we don't want to lose that war of attrition down there. Ziggs, that's actually, I actually really like that ban. I think that's pretty cool. We've seen T1 utilize this pick pretty successfully.
Guma Ziggsy picking that one up, and it looks good in their comp. Took them a while to end that game, but they got the job done in the end, and now bot lane is the one that's being deprioritized.
Looks like it's just going to be Lucian Nami since it's left open. There is basically no magic damage in this comp here for Kwangdong Freaks. Neela was one of the picks that I thought with the new Quick Blades coming out that might actually get some extra value here. This game, by the way, get ready for fireworks. Like, this is not going to be one of your sit around and it's low, like late first blood, low kill game. This game is not going to be like that. This game is absolutely not going to be like that. I foresee at least 20 kills in this game.
Whoa.
unless Nongshim win it super hard. Okay, we're just going all in on this Nautilus lane now. which can be one way that Kwangdong gets ahead. I have to give my, like, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, like, I'd definitely be throwing my hat into the Nongshim ring. Like, I'd be putting some chips on this draft right now because it's well-rounded. Has some synergy, obviously, with Neela and Wukong, and K'Sante with the Neela ult. Has a lot of power in the early laning phase. Shouldn't fall over to Lucian Nami. You know, if you mess up the Nautilus early level 2 and you die, then like the game might actually just end there, because then you have Gale Force Lucian, Yone's got power mid, you have some really nice team fighting around early objectives. So bottom 2v2 we have to keep a close eye on, but on paper I think Nongshim's comp scales for better team fighting, more well-rounded in terms of damage profile.
Yeah, for me, I saw the beginning of the draft and the rest of it was history. The rest of it I'm like, yeah, okay. Cool picks, guys, in the bottom lane. But again, it is challengers. You can do whatever you want in the draft, and it's going to come down to how good is Lancer really, and how strong is Kalex's Sylas to prioritize it like this in a good position. Well, that kind of doesn't actually work. You know, he might not even be a strong Sylas. We know that he is, but even if he wasn't, I think it's still a good spot for the Sylas. And the Wukong at the Sejuani. Things looking pretty good for Nongshim, Wolf.
All right, agree. I guess I'm going to do the thing where we go into the game, guys. Game number 1, Nongshim versus Kwangdong Freaks. Let's do it. It was a little bit early.
Too early.
But we got the do-do-do-do, so it's fine.
The song came on early.
That's why I did it. Yeah, my bad. My bad, everyone. Okay, again. Let's get into game 1. Oh, I thought we might get the double do-do-do-do.
Oh, no. We only got the one do-do-do-do. Unlucky. Today is just, you know, no 9-gamer. We did get the do-do-do-do a couple times, though. So I guess that's lucky, actually.
Yes, guys, it is very cold. It is very late. Not everyone can make it to the stadium on a Monday night. We do have a lot of audiences, usually earlier in the day.
Wolf, stop using logic. It obviously means that this game is dying.
That's it. Dead game.
Stop using logic, okay?
Never would have thought.
You're here casting challengers. No logic involved.
I guess that's it. It's confirmed.
Yeah.
Damn, I was like really looking forward to it. I thought this was one of my big years of League of Legends casting. Found out it's dead already, man.
Yeah.
By the way, Lancer 5-0 on NAR.
Seems pretty good.
The guy has just replaced Illima, and he's played a lot of NAR.
And Kwangdong are 2-4, and yet he still has 5-0 record.
He wins a lot of one game off in the series and gets banned. Yeah, you do not
My
want
sheet
to.
says 4-0.
What does it
Which
mean?
one is true? Is it 5 or 4?
You know the one way to get hooked by a Nautilus is to stand within range of his hook.
Hide on bush?
Yeah, just stand within range of his hook, and then show the Lucian. And like, as HH here, if he is not in the bush, oh well. If he is in the bush, nice. That'll be some consumables. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Lucian Nami, we have seen it even begin to slightly struggle into like Yuumi lanes, as this is going to be a good hook right on target. Ondil has a little bit of trouble, but they are going to turn this around pretty nicely. And so it is pretty good trade actually for Kwangdong's bottom lane, even though they were down a level. But yeah, Lucian Nami definitely has a lot of power once we do see that first item for the Lucian, and can trade pretty well after level, you know, at least 2 or 3. But for that, can get bullied a little bit.
Neela gonna help you get level 2 first, and then level 3, of course, and then later on level 6. These are the spikes you're looking for with the early Nautilus pushing with the Relic Shield. Being aggressive, level up, but eating the Ignite. A little bit indecisive in these calls. But that's okay. Is now the Wukong a little bit behind in terms of clearing the jungle, so not actually going to be able to come over here and deny the Sejuani from getting onto blue buff, nor be able to make an impact in this land. Now you're very far up, so Sounda. This is courage I was telling you guys about. This guy's good. He checks the ward.
Yeah.
Gonna look for that Scuttle Crab.
He's just waiting on it. He's definitely going to get that one. And he's probably going to get the one up top because Sounda is down on the bottom side, and he's going to try to challenge this.
He's very late to do so.
That's the thing. Maybe if he goes right across the middle, he could get the top one. Looks like he will. Doesn't look like Courage wants to fight him right now. So we've got bottom lane pushing really well for Nongshim. Mid seems to be going pretty even at this point. Maybe a slight lead here for Cleaver.
Yep. Sounda trying to keep his pathing hidden here. Go over and grab the Scuttle Crab. Might see a contest. Whereas unfortunately for Calix, he's a little bit pushed in at the moment. Will not be able to come over here and assist. That's Crab to Sounda. And this is a scary time here for Sounda, although you do generally win these alone. He's going to have to use this Trickster to get over the wall, or maybe he'll just save it. Interesting game one here, Valdez, from the start of things.
Alice just got D's.
Damn.
Yeah. They got him. D's Nautilus.
The Riz?
He probably does not know about the Riz.
I hope not.
It's good to have some knowledge. Speaking of which, we do have Ignite onto Ondil. He cannot get away from Mila, so that is his first blood. A lot of dash enjoyers here for Nongshim on the bottom side, as Ju did not pick up the kill. Actually, it did go to the Ignite of HH. So still a really nice start to the Nongshim bottom lane.
Yep, already level 5. We'll have level 6 for Herald fight easy. Should be totally fine. Looks like he wants to grab that last minion. If the back timing here is... Yeah, Ondil... very greedy. Will go for flash, but he's got another dash.
Yeah.
Flash for dash, Ghost comes through.
You think these players kind of like forgot what it's like to lean into Nautilus every day?
I kind of did, to be honest. Like, I haven't seen Nautilus in my solo queue games for like about 6 months, feels like. Yeah, I mean, there's that, but there's also just this weird aspect of like, you've played so much Lucian Nami against enchanters where you're like, no, I step up here, it's fine. Yeah. They can't, are they going to auto me and not Lucian? Like, he kills them. Like, what a silly group of guys down there on the bottom side. But then you kind of do forget, like, oh, wait a minute. There are other champions that do a lot of damage early. They do exist, and they will punish you, and they will hit level 6 fast, because that's what Neela does. Sounda also going to be hitting 6 fairly soon here, so there's a really big team fight opportunity for Nongshim here, going to Herald. 6 already there for HH, as you guys can see. 2 levels up on Ondil. Early game Neela things. And the Rift Herald fight here for Kwangdong Freaks is normally strong. Like, normally, you know, if you have this Lucian comp and you want to send the Lucian topside, it can be really strong. But you have a Yone at level 6. You have a Gnar. We can get some prio here. The Cassante not going to be too impactful at this stage. The CC of the Gnar very good. But when you consider Neela spiking here early with the Nautilus, I think that just kind of takes away the wind from your sails. Now, if they just take Drake instead here, if Kwangdong Freaks can identify this, there is definitely a window to push over there and get control. But the timing of this actually kind of works, where they might be able to do both.
It's kind of a rough spot for Kwangdong. I really feel like they need to get ahead in a decent fashion pretty early on in the game as well, because eventually you're going to be mostly AD with Sejuani as AP and Nami. Let's not forget Nami. And
don't forget, never forget.
Yeah. On the other side, there is like a decent amount of AD on the side of Nongshim as well, but then you've got like insane amounts of CC as well, so you have to build, you know, who knows what boots you're going to build against that. Whereas it's very easy for Nongshim to itemize here. And if they get ahead, it's like, well, your Lucian loses value, your Yone loses value. It's going to be really difficult, I think, for them to set up some plays where their carries can actually lay in some damage.
Grouping up for Herald now, Kwangdong Freaks definitely have a team fight comp that, if there's no Neela here, can win. Neela can try to all in again bottom side with the Nautilus, but not really getting much out of this outside the first Drake with the experience advantage. And it looks like they're just going to let this one go for the time being. We do see a rotation over of Calix now. so slow. So it looks like it's just going to be a 50-50.
I don't think so. Okay, he's going to flash in, but just a bit late on that one, as they are going to get the Rift Herald and also get out.
50-50.
So, yeah. Kwangdong really just leaving it up to chance. And, I mean, they were able to sneak it essentially before Nongshim could reply.
Yeah, but I think, honestly, as much as it was kind of greedy from Kwangdong the way they held it and tried to smite it down fast, I'm a little bit more worried about Nongshim's late arrival, because that means that there's a little bit of a, outside of the laning phase here for Nongshim, like lack of understanding of where this comp is at its strongest. Like if you're going to contest, you better go there fast, and that's like you're all in on this objective. You are committing. You don't kind of go halfway. It's okay.
They're trying to all in onto the Nautilus. Well, can they do it? Here comes the Yone. Gets a lot of damage in their courage as well. It's going to get pretty low. Can Kalix go 1v3 essentially? The heal comes in as our young mid laner from Nongshim gets baited into that one, and Andu will rightfully take this kill.
All right, that's going to be that Herald that they won the 50-50 on, crashing through this turret with a lot of minions. Sounda here has to come over and drop his wolves to try to defend, but that's going to be a...
That was a really good Caster Curse Chronicler, well done from the comfort of his own home, saying that, you know, Nongshim just, there's no way they can lose this, and then this happens.
Yeah, well, you're out there, you're knocked up. Cleaver's got the damage. He ults there, really nice ult from HH, but he has the ult follow-up, and like the Nautilus depth charge was really good, but it's not enough to save him, and then Permafrost with Yone, that's the synergy showing through. Yeah. He does the auto attack really fast, and she's getting Freezy Freeze.
Yeah.
And that's that, just a little bit of miscalculation.
So much crowd control.
Looking at the gold difference now, we didn't really like the Yone pick that much. We were raising our eyebrows at it a little bit, but now he's 20 CS up. He has a 900 gold lead, nearly 1,000. They got the Herald. He got some plate gold. Kind of changing our tune a little bit here. So I want to play a game that I really like to do at this.
Nongshim.
So right now, who do you think is the most handsome player on Kwangdong? No. Who do you think wins? You can answer that too if you like, but the real question is, as you predicted, if you had to decide right now, based on the game state at 11 minutes,
Nongshim.
Who wins the game?
Nongshim.
Okay. So you still think Nongshim are going to win this?
I do.
Well, I'm here to tell you that I also think Nongshim are going to win this game. And I'm making that my official prediction as well at this stage.
Nice.
In Challengers, we don't usually make these distinctions in draft, although sometimes we do, as Valdez did in this game. But it's more fun to see what happens in reality for a little bit, just a little bit, and then like take stock, because it does seem like, okay, Kwangdong's 1,000 gold ahead, 20 CS down is the Silas. It's a Neela, so can be tricky. It seems like they've misunderstood the win conditions. But the draft of Nongshim is just so easy to pilot, you know, versus this comp. There's so many good Silas ults to steal. Like, literally every ult is good, and the Gnar ult is free and amazing. So, you know, gold schmold, all right? 30 CS, 30 schmies, okay? 1,000 smiles.
Yeah.
Rod of Ages Smages. Who needs that, really?
It's going to be interesting to see how Kwangdong are going to deal damage to Nautilus alone.
Or the Silas that is going to be in the front line of Rod of Ages.
Wukong.
Or Cassante?
Yeah. Look at his starting items as well. It's like, well, I'm going to buy these, and they will be useful for the entire game. I will also buy this cloth armor, because this will also be used for the entire game. This is the BT rush that you go for on Neela early game. By the way, Nongshim, stacking the Drakes, feeling good about our Preds. Okay, they want to get on top of Jiu here, but the massive Cyclone comes in. Bull is doing a decent amount of damage, though, on that right side of this fight, getting on top of Jiu now. That is a ton into the 80 carry. That is 3 kills.
Feeling bad about our
Preds.
Feeling bad about our Preds.
I just called them Kwangdong. Kwangdong. Yeah. Well,
well, the Neela did ult a front line it was not very powerful. As the turn here is very awkward. Like, Ju here is caught, instantly cleanse, and then comes back in here and he's like, ulting a Yone. There's a Sejuani in the fight. Bull is getting maximum value untouched. Silas wasn't there. Now, does this team fight really articulate any of the points we made about the weaknesses of Kwang Freaks' draft and their inability to do damage? No. However, did they secure the Drake? No. However, I'm getting to the real point here, which is, we're gonna watch this one more time too. Did we miss this at some point? Yeah, I think so.
We must have, right?
Because I don't think this happened on our screens, as Cleaver just is showing Calyx up. That is also bad. That is also not a thing that is why we predicted Nongshim to win this. But this fight was not about comps. It was really just about Nongshim being greedy, not having control over the Drake, and Neela, despite being strong at this point in the game, isn't able to do damage to the enemy AD carry, who does free damage to the entirety of the fight with a good front line there. So, man, I've only been wrong at this game once. Might be time to double my losses. Because now the gold lead is so massive, it does shore up some of those compositional problems, doesn't it?
That's what I said. You know, like, they have to get a lead. If they can get a lead, they could definitely still win this, but it wasn't very likely, as Ju is going to get a big ult, but how long will he survive for? Well, it turns out a pretty long time. He's not doing a lot of damage, though, as once again, Bull gets a massive culling, but still, as we do have Mihail getting on in there, looking for his 5th Cassante win potentially. He is trying to survive here as Lancer gonna get knocked up. The Boomerang also not going to follow up, and Mihail gets out. Unbelievable.
That ult from him across the wall, like that the Disney Tarzan remake should be inspired by, like, this guy is sliding across the wall there. It was pretty nasty. Well, the fight was essentially turned by that really nice Neela ultimate, and he has a Bloodthirster, so he can live through this fight pretty well. Nami, you're actually a little bit late to really turn the tide. As look at Ju's ult, grabs 2, gets the dash through, second dash comes over, then set up by, and the stolen Gnar ultimate, pretty strong. Silas into Gnar, pretty good. And then Mihail says, "You're going downtown." Courage. And it's not for coffee. A lot of people go downtown for coffee, like, because they don't have a local coffee shop in their area. It's too rural.
Yeah, I can't relate, but
I mean, you live in Seoul, of course you can't relate. You're from New York. Not every area in the world has a coffee shop in the suburbia. You have to go downtown.
Life was just like a Seinfeld episode, though, where you just have a massive apartment in the middle of New York City. Is that not the case?
I heard a new restaurant opened up, Valdez.
new restaurant, Pog.
They have waffles with Skittles in them.
Wow, I can't believe anyone would actually enjoy that. Do you think that restaurant will become a hit?
I don't know. Maybe we should try it. Should I make a reservation tomorrow? People don't get it. People don't get it, Valdez. We're very funny and they don't get it.
They should get it. All right. SAR1202, please be nice in the chat. Nautilus will become very tanky, don't you worry. Okay.
He's already got a cloth armor and plated steel caps. He's already fairly tanky. He's level 9. He's got some good base stats. You're comparing him to Enchanter supports that have been meta for the last 3 weeks of LCK and LCK Challengers. He's very tanky already. Compared to, like I said.
Yeah.
He's like mildly tanky compared to, like, Cassante. Or like an actual Panzer tank.
Are tanks tanky? I guess they are.
They are very tanky. That's where the term comes from, Valdez.
Oh. Well, here's Mega Gnar.
Lancer.
Mihail's got that front line big knock-up as the Nautilus is tanking up quite a bit, but should eventually go down. The Yone ultimate is huge, and the stolen Gnar into Neela. You've got to be kidding me as they turn it around perfectly. Mihail went maybe just a step too far. but he's Cassante, so it's fine. That is going to be a massive team fight win once again to the side of Nongshim, as they have well and truly gotten tanky enough to deal with Kwangdong.
So like I said, 40 CS, 40 SMIS. You know, a little bit of gold in the advantage of the Yone.
Yeah.
3 kills. Can Yone steal a Gnar ultimate and use it in a team fight? No. However, watch over here as Mihail's in the front lines. And look who's coming. It's Calyx. Hijack. Oh no! Right into the Neela. I hate when my Gnar ultimate gets stolen and it pushes my team into the enemy Neela. I just hate when that happens. What should I do, Dr. Wolf? Well, Kwangdong, I will tell you, maybe prioritizing the early Gnar on the draft with Silas open could be a symptom of a larger problem. And what I will prescribe to you is not doing that in game 2.
A better draft. Please prescribe a better draft, Dr. Wolf. I think that's the issue.
By the way, like, I do not have my PhD, chat.
Yeah.
I cannot help you guys.
There's still time.
It's not actually licensed to give
There's
professional
always
advice.
time to go back to school.
True. But at the moment, this is not actually official professional advice. Please see a trained professional.
We were supposed to have the small text come out on the bottom side, though. Unlucky.
Please call your doctor if Silas scaling occurs.
Silas scaling. Oh, no.
If your rod of ages completes before 10 minutes,
Yeah.
please call the Poison Control Center. All right. This is, I'm feeling pretty good about Preds again.
Yeah,
About
I
this.
mean,
feeling pretty good about Preds
Kwangdong
again.
needed to win like 1 or 2 more team fights, but they kind of just got boomed on the second Rift Herald instead. And after that happened, it's been rough goings for them, and now they're going to be going into Mountain Drake, which makes this even worse because everybody is stacking armor against your all AD team.
It's actually
And
it's insane that they have.
Now they have Mountain Drakes.
Even Neela's got steel caps. Watching the Lucian shoot the Neela, who's 2 levels up, is just walking up to, like, G was just walking up to Bull and hitting the turret, and Bull's like, please get off the turret, and G said no. He's just like, I don't actually care, you can't hurt me. You can't hurt me at all. Only very mildly. Very small hurting.
Yeah, just a little bit of chip damage. Everybody's a tank. It's not fair.
Okay, that's a cleanse.
Yeah, they got a bunch of ultimates for that. As uh-oh, here comes Silas, gonna steal the Sedge ultimate. It looks like nice Yone, but unfortunately they don't deal damage, Wolf.
They aren't hurting them, Valdez.
Nongshim are extending pretty far, but again, it does not matter because they're not dealing damage.
They gotta kill him, but they're not able to do it. It's a problem.
What's the deal with all this armor
All right,
anyway?
look, so they can kill this turret, and that's going to be a little bit of extra gold going over. Look at the damage in the team fight. Yeah, when the Cassante is out damaging the 80 carry, it can be problematic. Now, they're coming over here very late.
Yes, please see a trained physician if that happens to you. As here comes Meganar, I'm not sure they care because he doesn't deal any damage. This is also a forced 3v5 for no reason. You were never going to get into the pit and steal away the Baron. You don't even have a jungler.
All right,
he wasn't
Valdez,
there.
I'm
losing my mind, Wolf.
We're getting a little bit. We're going a little bit down the Artosis road a little bit here. I feel like we're getting on them like they're the best foe you, and it's 2011 GSL season 2. And so like I really just wanna bring it back for a second because yes, this is a team fight where no damage is being done, and it's really sad. And even Yone, who's very far ahead in Fed, cannot hurt the Wukong. It's just, I mean,
Kyle even ulted the Nami.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, free kill, lol, XD, thanks, Riot.
And then this is when they kill the turret, and oh, we're not going to watch him go back, because that part of the fight where I think is like where the realization sinks in as the 1,500 gold ahead, Yone can't actually be an R, so it's pretty problematic. But then going back to the Baron, that's the decision. It's the real head scratcher, because yeah, you need to win that fight. You need to stop them from doing Baron, but then after losing the fight and getting the turret, you just have to cut your losses. You know, like this is not going to be a winning situation. And walking back into that after using most of your engage is where like the shot calling on this team seems to have fallen apart.
Yeah, that's the thing about Guangdong Freaks. Like you mentioned, individually they have some really great players. Like even Bull's a great player. We've seen him pop off. Courage, great player. Lancer, obviously replacing Ilima. He's a great player. And what's happening here? What is the draft and what is the way that this game is being played? It definitely could get better. Is what I'll say. I'm not going to be too mean.
There are some improvements that could be made, but now it might be a little bit doomed. It might be a little bit late. As you pick Yone usually to get mid prio and to win early, but into Silas could be a problem as well. Oh.
Well, they are throwing everything into the Sejuani. Maybe this is an opportunity for Guangdong, but the Mila ultimate gigantic once again as a 5-man Gnar into the wall. They all group up for it, yet it does not matter. Well, however, it does not matter. All 5 of them are still alive with more than half health, okay?
Not
it does
even
not matter.
a wombo combo could save Guangdong Freaks here. That was the saddest 5-man ultimate I've ever seen. That was like the TSM 5-man sleep. Like,
oh no.
It was a 5-man, right? That sleep. I think it was 5. It might have been 4,
yeah.
but it was a big sleep, and then it was a resonant sleeper follow-up. This feels the same because there's just nothing you could do, and they're doing this into the Baron buff. By the way, 6,600 power play, fairly early Baron take.
9-man sleep.
The 9-man sleep, yes. That is the meme, isn't it?
They didn't work hard enough to throw this one, but the comp did in this game.
Watch the tragedy unleashes. Gio hits a big ult, and they're like, okay, hold on, but Gnar, wait a second. Oh! Oh, baby, the damage is, wait, where is it? H Sonya's! He didn't need to break his stopwatch. He didn't need to break it, Valdez. Didn't need to break it. It wasn't HH who did it right. I think he sold his broken stopwatch. Just smashed it on the ground.
I think so.
He's very bad. Yeah.
So, Guangdong's comp, it did basically the best that it possibly could, right? Like, you've got 5 people got knocked into the wall. You had all of your members kind of available doing damage, and yet it still didn't work out. Now, YouTube chat is saying bad Lucian. First of all, this is a positive stream. Second of all, the Lucian is a fantastic player. Okay.
And also,
this has nothing to do with the way that Bull is playing. He could be a god. This could be the best AD carry that the universe has ever seen, and it would not matter. Well, that's going to be the end of him. Well, they got the clone, I think.
Calyx, very low here, but he still has his Zonius, and Hijack coming up soon. He is level 16. Now maybe the counter, actually here, hold the phone, Valdez. What if Lancer died there, so there's no Gnar ultimate to Hijack? Now they
I think you're onto something. Maybe there's a way.
This could be, now they have to make something happen before he respawns in 14 seconds.
Well,
nah,
YouTube chat is still saying that Bull is not playing well. I don't even know what to think at this point.
Well, the
I've
force
lost
of
all
nature is a pretty interesting choice from Mihail as well.
he had too much armor.
Someone mentioned it in chat, and I thought, well, we do have to address this. It is probably not the most ideal item he could have purchased.
Yeah, he moves faster. That's what I was thinking, you know. He just gets in their face, right?
There's not any other item that could have been built with dead men or dishes. So they could have been the same sort of
dishes.
Yeah, plates.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's a bad joke. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't
Gio is like trying to 1v4
Gio has
here.
cleanse, by the way. I mean, this is really rough for the set of Guangdong because everything they do requires you to not have cleanse.
Stay away from Calyx! Stay away from him! He's got that Gnar ultimate!
Oh no, Sounda just joined the fight. He's gonna get on top of Bull here, who is now dead.
Watch out for that Gnar ult!
Not able to do any damage. This should be the end of the game, guys. 28.5 minutes for Nongshim to put the nail in the coffin.
Sorry for yelling, Chad. I just wanted to warn him.
Yeah, you woke all the chatters up. How could you? Well, Fiona's dead too. That's going to be the end of this game. The Nexus turrets go down, and they are going to be diving into the fountain. GG 1-0 in favor of Nongshim Red Force.
We called it, well, you especially called it pretty loud and clear. The draft diff after the first 3 picks were, you could feel it. Now, the question is it Colix or Jiu who picks up PUG? I actually kind of want to give it to Jiu.
I think Jiu.
Even though the Gnar ultimates were part of what turned this game around, like the Nila play overall was pretty good. Some decision-making issues, but in terms of individual play, I thought his ults were really nice. His positioning was good. His dashes were, I almost said fat. You got me on that old school life. Gonna connect to my dial-up.
Yeah. Well, this one was a game of League of Legends. Kwangdong Freaks played out the early game very well. I thought that they had a lot of good looks, and they took some risks on some objectives. They got ahead. It was looking pretty decent for them. But then they hit the brick wall that was kind of the draft diff, and I think, you know, there was a possibility for them to win, you know, 2-3 more team fights and get so far ahead that it didn't matter, but I think Nongshim were able to stop them in their tracks fast enough, and then the game was kind of just over at 17 minutes.
I'm trying to think of, like, if you hit your own Gnar as Kwangdong into a Yone ult with a tidal wave on top of it, can you kill anyone? Like, probably somebody would die. But then you used all of your ability to stop this team from getting on top of you. Like, on the ability to try to, like, wombo this team. But if you kill one person, which you might, the others will survive. The Bloodthirster was a good build choice here for the Nila. Very difficult to kill her. She gets into position, does a lot of damage, survives through all of that CC that wasn't always chained together very well. She had the cleanse, so he does pick it up.
Hey, Jiu, nice play today. Thought Colix might get it, but he did kind of get boomed very early on. Like, there was a chance, again, that if he just got so far behind that he would not do enough damage or enough. Even though, like, he had a bajillion ults to steal, like, there was potential.
I like that we got a smart Twitch chatter. Auburn Summer mentioning the Nongshim Ziggs ban was super smart. Maybe they were planning an AP bot pick. That would have been the best option for them for sure, and they banned it away. It was a really smart ban. That's actually a really good shout back to the draft. Definitely hurting the damage profile massively. I think if it's not the, you know, if Ziggs there, they might have problems in the laning phase into this, but, like, at least they have a real team fight with the Yone lead. Maybe they can actually burn through those health bars. That Gnar would have definitely felt pretty good if it had a Mega Inferno Bomb on top of it with Leandri's damage. Didn't feel so great in this case.
Very true. And maybe they thought they can kind of just, you know, make their way out of it, but it wasn't Maokai and Heimer that you had in your comp. It was Sejuani and Nami, so not really the same kind of pieces of minimal AP outside of not getting the Ziggs. Either way, guys, we are done for the game one. We will be back after the break. Welcome back, guys. We are here live at WG Esports Studio for game number 2 of Nongshim versus Kwangdong Freaks. Nongshim able to squeak out the victory in that one. Took them a little bit. Started off very slow, but eventually their comp took over and won.
Yeah, definitely some. I would sum it up this way. There was a strong draft for one of the two teams. They missed some of their win conditions early. There were some mistakes and aggressive plays around the mid lane that gave a lead to Kwangdong Freaks. And then Kwangdong's draft didn't get enough ahead because of it, and they built the armor stat, and there were no damage stats.
They built the armor stat.
They were like,
yeah.
They went to the shop and they clicked on like the armor button, and then it was like, here's a list of all the things you can buy, and they were like, those are on the recommended items for my champion.
Yeah.
That means I could just buy those. It says they have armor right there, and then that was kind of the end of that. 5-man Nar, killing no one.
That's a problem.
It's not on my bingo card for today, I'll be honest with you.
If they had, any kind of AP to layer over that, that was in a decent spot. If you have an Azir that's really fed, all of those guys, they get swept up and die. Like, that's what would happen. But instead, the One wasn't there. I mean, the damage wasn't even layered well. Like, there was a chance that if he got like a 5-man Gnar, that maybe if they were far enough ahead, even though they were all AD, they still could have beat them. But it also, it was rough. Kwangdong Freaks are going to have to try something new for game 2 because that was not it. And they should not do that.
I wonder what side you pick right now if you're Kwangdong. I kind of want to see you probably pick red side.
Everybody's picking blue, though, today.
Yeah, I'd say maybe save counter pick, though, and maybe not pick your solo laners in the first part of the draft when you save R5 for...
if they go blue, maybe you, ban Silas and pick Rise first. I think that would be okay if they do go for it. Let's see what they select.
Blue!
It will be blue, so they are following the trend.
Following the trend, but will they be able to utilize the trend? Will they be able to get that first pick, the prio, and turn into something good?
T1 took blue side in game 2 after they lost game 1. They were not able to take the win there.
Someone asking why Cassante built MR. Scientists are still on the case on that one. There's still some research to be done.
To move fast and do the boom boom shooty, perhaps. How's the consistent streaming going? Here I am, consistently streaming for challengers. Thank you, Timmy, for your question. Are you working
6 days a weekers in the on the desk?
Not
That'd
me.
be me and you. We're streaming more than most streamers actually in a week. Not on our personal streams, but breaking it down. That's our jobs. Let's continue to do our job here in game 2. Wake up, API. There we go. Countdown timers.
Come on, API.
The countdown timer is getting a little out of whack.
Get your stuff together.
But we're in it. We're in it to win it. Actually, we're not. We're just in it to see who wins it. Ooh, you mean Neela?
Sorry.
It's okay. Everyone gets excited sometimes.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Cassante as well. What do you think is next, Silas? Wukong. Okay, well, that's the third piece of the puzzle, I suppose.
You have now left, by banning away the champions that were problems, a lot open. Varus, definitely a strong pick here first on blue side. Rise, I'd actually respect a Rise ban here from Nongshim right now. I was like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. You guys can play Varus, but there's a lot of other picks. We have Heimerdinger still up. Maokai also would have been a good first pick here on blue side. Rise might just be the way to go. We thought that last time, and then they were like, nope.
Elise, okay. That's cool, that's cool.
It's been a good pick for Courage. So, check. Valdez checking the win rate.
Let me just check. He's 2-0 on the pick.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like
it is the only pick that he has a winning record on.
Yeah, that's the. I feel like that's the pick where I got excited about Courage. Where I was like, oh, this guy's really good. And there were a few losses where he still did well. We saw this Jarvan hovered quite a bit. I don't think it's the way you want to do it, and
no,
they will luckily not. Do you see the Sejuani now locked and loaded? Good to see a Varus come through here.
That
an
would not be it.
unexpected choice, Valdez.
Neither would that.
Ooh, I want that. No, go back to that other one. I've never even seen what Warwick looks like in the draft. Like, I've never seen his artwork before. No one's ever even hovered him before. Oh, no one's ever even hovered him before, Valdez. Oh,
just because you're a wolf doesn't mean you're supposed to get excited about werewolves. They're different.
I mean, they are different, but I also don't think Warwick is a werewolf necessarily. That's not what Arcane said, Batchest. That's not what Arcane implied, Batchest.
Real Warwick from Arcane?
Okay,
so
well,
Silas is going to be taken.
This draft looks much better than the last one.
About 17 times better, at least.
At least. You have to pick a Heimer or a Karma here if that's what you want to deal with this Varus with. Otherwise, you will not have the opportunity to do it in the second phase because it will be banned away from you. So,
oh man, it's Lulnectin coming out here.
Interesting. Blind here. Yeah, curious choice.
You know, Casante's banned. They can ban the Gnar as well. And you can try to give yourself a good matchup in the top side from me, Heil, but I don't know. It feels pretty early to go for something like that. It is double melee for your Sejuani.
I mean, that's true. The Sejuani's going to get some power from this, but...
And Mihail's kind of just going down the checklist for him. This is his second most played champion behind Casante.
See what gets banned here in this final slot. GP has been very strong right now on this patch. It is all any streamer I have turned on except Baus has been playing. Baus only plays the Scion one. But the GP has been real. I was watching Nemesis play GP last night. He was having a tough time because he was doing a lot and his team was not following up on it. Sad that we won't be seeing it today here, but could have been a good answer to the Renekton. That seems to be a sign of the X-champion that everyone's been talking about is pretty good on this patch. I won't name it, but I'll just leave with the X there for you guys to...
Jaya?
I wasn't going to say it.
I didn't say it either.
I actually... I also thought it was a Rakan lock-in. I didn't realize it was Zaya because of the way the art came in.
Yeah,
so that's why I was saying X. I was like, oh, I think we know what the other one's going to be, but it's actually just the Zaya, which doesn't... The Rakan is not very strong in this meta, so we'll see. Especially into Nautilus, which...
Yeah, and into Silas.
Huh. Well, I feel like the tables have certainly turned in terms of which draft we like better this time around. I think the Nautilus expecting potentially that Rakan to come through is very strong, but isn't amazing into Zaya in general because she could just ult away from you. Now this I like more. This I like a lot. Not going to be the easiest to set up, obviously, with the ult, but works well with the Renekton. You're going to have a lot of frontline, a lot of melee to deal with here in this comp, so he should be able to get a lot out of his ultimate and his passive. This game feels like another one of these Nongshim games where it's like, can Calyx pop? You know, like, will he do it?
I mean, we've seen a lot in the LCK. I did a little chronicler there. Did you notice? I was like, we did this. We saw this a lot in the LCK where Akali is struggling into Silas just because the Silas kind of gets a free lane and then just gets too tanky for the Akali to really take down.
True.
But there are some other champs that she can definitely assassinate on the enemy team.
Yeah, sometimes the Silas struggles to keep up with the Akali too. She can move faster on a flank, she can get over walls, and Silas wants to both engage and be a front line, but has to be detached from the back line in comps like this. Now, there's only really one squishy member who's going to be easy to take out with this Akali. The Elise can be that target if she gets found alone. It's really just up to Calyx to identify these weaknesses. Needs a lot of vision on the map. And with 2 melee supports here, 2 tanky supports, a lot of vision to fight over in this game. It's not just going to be the, oh, we're ahead. The enemy enchanter could do nothing, and I will wipe them off the map. It's not going to be that kind of game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you, Wolf. I think this Brahma is going to be pretty good for the side of Nongshim. But again, as we saw in game number 1, anything could happen in the early game, and we'll dictate where we do move on from there. This is Challengers, after all. As I have said about 5 or 6 times today, we did get one doo-doo-doo-doo there, as they have started the music early. We'll see if we get another one as we are moving on to the Rift for game number 2. There it is. Well, we got it. You hear it? It was me.
It was you. It was you all along.
It was me.
Lethal tempo. Doran's blade. Start for Bull. No lethality to be found here. A little lethal tempo. Zaya.
Bull has played 7 games of Varus.
He's 2-5.
He's 2-5 on the Varus. And
Valdez was looking up the statistics.
He almost always plays on hit from what I can tell. Like, we cast him at least 2 games, and he played on hit for both of those games.
He did.
And
Wide Renekton, welcome to the stream.
What?
Renekton's art in the back looked a little bit stretched.
Really?
He was getting a little bit pulled out. His teeth were looking a little bit interesting. He looked like big brain Renekton on the Rift. Though there are never too many doo-doos in the chat. You're good.
Yeah. As long as well, actually, if you did uppercase do probably 4 or 5 times in a row with no spaces, that's probably why Nightbot got you. So just be careful. Put some spaces in there, maybe some lowercase letters, and you should be fine. The Nightbot is very sensitive. We'll never know what happened.
Scare.
We'll never know what happened in the bottom lane.
What's the reverse of a jump scare? Where like something scary is happening, you jump away to something peaceful.
Jump.
A piece. A jump piece. A jump calm. We got the jump calm. Oh no! Okay, calm. Suddenly calm. It's okay.
Panic, calm.
Well, it looks like the trade was fairly even there on the bottom side. As we'll see what Courage gets done in this early matchup here. They both are pathing top side, level 3. Sounda taking a bit of a retreat, trying to kind of peace out here, is trying to get on his Krugs. As this was a bit of a Chronicle Morphin jump, like, and
Sounda doing a good job of identifying where and what angle Courage would take.
Smite fight incoming.
Top lane, also very important here. Mihail could move at any moment to go help, but he won't. Just going to give this camp to the Elise.
Lots of prio here for Kwangdong Freaks in the early game. Careful,
what's going on here in the top lane?
Trying to bait it. I think he's trying to bait it.
But they know.
I said trying to, Valdez. Mihail's got some good restraint. Good restraint.
It's the right thing to do. You see Sounda, he's kind of just trying to read where this Elise is. They know that she just took it.
So badly.
Bunch of back pings on the top side. Nongshim know exactly that the Elise should be here.
He was like just on the edge of vision if he wasn't seeing outright. Don't think he missed that. But either way, still not going to be the commitment. Her just like, yeah, he might have seen me there. And it's going to be a back off. Jack's going to back too. We'll have enough time to walk back to lane. Huh, that was a lot of commitment. And normally we don't see Elise play around the top side of the map, but with Nautilus and Braum suddenly back here in the Challengers meta, I guess you don't feel as aggressively inclined towards going to the bottom side of the map because it could backfire big time as the Elise level 3 gank much weaker when there's no Enchanter supports on the Rift.
Is the other LCK channel down? Yes, because the LCK is on Wednesdays through Sundays. This is the LCK Challenger League, which is the second league behind the LCK where we grow up-and-coming new talent in Korea.
Now, if you meant the Korean Challengers stream, that one should still be up.
Yeah.
And I respect the commentators there, but you could probably just stay here. We're pretty cool.
We are pretty cool. Well, I might have a small little say. The bottom lane doesn't look like it's going to have any action anytime soon. I mean,
Nope.
Andil did try, but then he was like, oh, wait, it's a Braum.
Wait, hold on. Hold the phone. Actually, you don't need to hold it. A little bit of alcove gaming setup here. Nice angle.
They're going to try to burst down Andil. He gets pretty low and frozen, and now Courage not really able to do too much. In jumps HH looking for the front line against Courage. And now in this 3v3 lane, looks like it's going the way of Nongshim. We also do have the top lane. Mihail consistently taking good trades there. He did just teleport back to the lane and will be able to freeze it. Look at this position.
Yep, very nice. This is really unfortunate for Lancer. Not going to be able to get much out of this. That was a really nice gank from Sounda. Does get the flash out of Andil. It does have Hex Flash, but very powerful angle there. And unfortunately, the counter gank, you could call it, from Courage there. The Cocoon is used so late that there's just no follow-up damage. It's early Varus with lethal tempo. Not going to be hitting any fat damage there off of that Cocoon. So it was a little bit of damage, but, you know, the advantage goes to the person who pulls the trigger first in this case, as they did. Courage really spending a lot of time trying to camp lanes.
Yeah. I mean, it is the Elise way, right?
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. You got to exert that early pressure. How about an early Sejuani gank to the top side? Not super early, but very unfortunate time to go for it. As the lane is just totally in a awful spot for them to actually gank. So he's just going to invade the jungle, I suppose.
Successfully gank a lane challenge. Impossible. As yeah, another lane, very difficult to gank here for Courage. He's going to complete this back. Was waiting to see if there was an opportunity for someone to overextend. Not going to happen. So yeah, the lull state continues. Now, Valdez, we've heard a lot of talk about this, and I've made my opinion pretty known, but the Oblivion Orb into Silas here from Calyx. Thoughts? Any opinion? You got any sort of feelings about this?
No hard feelings, Wolf. Generally, I think it's okay.
I'm like, put him on the spot, man. He has to say, it's a very polarizing issue, so you have to choose one side or the other. Are you an Oblivion Orber or Oblivion Orb hater?
It's a nice item. I'm gonna say it's a nice item. That's all I got to say.
Just testing your PR, Valdez.
They don't call me Valdez #PR for nothing. That's what they call me, including the hashtag.
Including the hashtag. Including that. Okay, hold on.
Oh, they're gonna catch Cleaver here. He's in a bit of trouble. He'll just flash away. Courage misses his flash, as now in goes the Akali. And a Sejuani ult goes wide, as now they try to burst down Calyx, who just flashes away from it. As now we got another stun here, and even Braum's getting into the mix. And he's gonna burn to Braum. HH picks up the kill, and that is 2 more for Nongshim.
So if you pause it right here, you're probably wondering how we got to this point. You know, how did this occur? If you just showed up and you saw this and you paused it here, you'd be like, well, how did this happen? Well, let's break it down again. Because Sejuani ult starts this off, and because he's close enough to the fat wall here, he can fat flash it. And then if we pause it here, you can see Sejuani ult is very far away from its target, and the follow-up here was questionable at best from the Elise. And then HH shows up to secure the kill. Burn down does occur with the Ignite. But that was a very messy fight, and I think a lot of Kwangdong Freaks' early power in this game now gone. It very much vanished right before our eyes at about the same angle that Cleaver's stolen Sejuani ult went.
True.
Very sad.
Mostly southwards, yeah.
Yeah, but like about at the same rate. Like it's not like completely down, but like
true.
at a kind of maybe 30-degree angle.
Linear 30-degree angle, traveling southwest by south. South by Southwest, I should say. Who is LS? That's Larry Seinfeld from the very famous sitcom that you may have heard. It's called Seinfeld.
Yeah, from WatchForever.com.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the spin-offs. HH in a little bit of trouble, just face checking. He gets
Speaking of
the Xayah to face check as well, but over the wall he goes. Very nicely done, but didn't have to face check in the first place. At least he got himself out of danger.
Doesn't look like the Gromp Nongshim tryout went very well. He went right back to his home. He got sent back very early. Not a successful tryout. He was trying to join the team, but they seemed not very interested in having him, at least for the time being. Maybe he'll get a second trial. Sound just said we'll call you back later. Courage is, man, this game is just becoming a face check kind of game.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, as Nongshim did stick around for quite a while,
nice
and Courage,
dodge.
I guess, expected them to be gone by now. Courage does not have flash.
Colix is mad they didn't give him the kill, but he'll get over it pretty quickly.
Imagine
they have
being a
nice lead.
0-0-3 Akali.
There's not even any famous James Bond agents with that name code.
Nobody remembers 003? Like, what is that?
Yeah, is there even? I don't think there's even a good 003 character in the whole franchise, unless I just missed one because I only watched it once when I was a kid.
Yeah, but you don't even remember him. If there was
Yeah,
one,
well,
you wouldn't remember.
exactly. If he was good, I remember. I
Zero-
remember 006. Okay, I remember Moneypenny. I know M. I know 007, obviously. I know 008 that one time, but 003 feels bad, man. Why didn't they give him a kill? Could have given him the kill there. Stolen by Sound. But you know what? He will get over it pretty soon because the gold lead is starting to balloon here as the face check meta continues. And yes, we did see HH and Ju try to throw it all away. But then there was a pretty big turnaround.
It was all just an elaborate bait. They just face check the brush to make the other team face check and feel safe, and then they just get you. And speaking of which, maybe baiting in Mihail here, but no, look at this. He immediately runs all the way back. For some reason, having a good idea that the Elise was in the brush.
He's like, this trade is too good to be true. I have ult. Why would he do this? Doesn't seem right. Good game sense. Over here, Rift Herald just going to be casually dropped as a kind of consolation prize for Colix. His kill was stolen again, so they will give him the plate gold. Could have given it to Xayah, but, you know, feels like it's time for reparations here in the mid.
It's only fair. I mean, Xayah doesn't have anything, but that's fine. Akali is definitely more important. I mean, Akali was in KDA. Was Xayah in KDA? I don't think so. Nobody remembers what band Xayah was in. I don't think she's even part of a band. She's not cool enough.
Doing a little bit of hooing here on the stream this time. You and I, 003, Xayah. Does anyone remember? Does anyone remember Gilligan's Isle? It was a great TV show.
Gilligan's Island?
Yeah.
I used to watch reruns of that.
Gilligan's, you know, like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, Brady Bunch, good one.
What was that other show? Andy Griffith Show? You ever watch that?
Now people definitely assume we are boomers. There's not a single person in this chat who knows those shows.
There's probably at least a single person.
No, not even a single person.
Come on, chat. Somebody knows.
Courage, another try at getting a gank and another fail because Nongshim just kind of reading the situation.
Yeah. Just playing it very safely, kind of playing to punish rather than to be aggressive in this draft where they could scale up really well with the Xayah and the Akali. So mid-game team fights could go their way with the Renekton. And
my grandfather speaks about them.
My grandfather speaks about them. Well, I'd like to speak with him sometime. It sounds like a fine gentleman.
Wow, ult into Courage here. He's in a lot of trouble. He is not even going to get a chance to repel. As, oh no, Cleaver as well gets himself way into the back.
First kill of the game.
Yeah, and he is going to get out of there.
Mihail is like, I know your jungler's dead this time.
And the Dominus push it through enough. No, it will not. Lancer just going to bop him on the head. Mihail thinking Renekton is too OP. Should watch some more Larry Seinfeld. Either way, that is going to be a solo kill for Lancer.
Larry Seinfeld is my favorite fake joke for today. Every time you say it, someone gets really upset. Like, you know it's not Larry, right? It's very good.
It's lickety split.
Yeah, does anyone else remember VHS tapes?
Yeah, I used to watch Breakin' 2 on VHS.
Did you ever listen to
Electric Boogaloo.
Did you ever listen to the soundtrack on your cassette player?
Of Breakin' 2, no, but other things, yes.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is Courage, unfortunately, just completely out here. Sound defines him and then just chains the CC together. Andil is fairly nearby, Cleaver is fairly nearby, but that was just, you know, unfortunate. Mihail here, we're watching a really long version of this, just canceling some autos and then gets stunned by the Counter-Strike, gets his own stun, but it's not enough damage here, so oopsie daisy.
Yeah, he didn't have his Qs on cooldown.
Yep.
And it was a great look from Lancer to just go in on that one. Mihail just assuming he would have enough time. And then he didn't. Underestimating the Divine Thunder damage out of the Jax.
Yep, a little bit early to be winning that one. And I think actually it gets worse later, but obviously at this stage, you're like, my team is ahead, I should be ahead, and finally the jungler is gone. Because this is the one time he's like, okay, at least he's literally dead. I can 1v1 this. You're not ahead in terms of the 1v1. You're sitting on one mythic just like he is, and yeah, unless you get a bunch of kills in this upcoming team fight, get the second item faster, probably not going to be yours to win. He is 20 CS up, to be fair, but hasn't translated to a massive lead. Courage, trying to bait him again. Can this be the win condition for Kwangdong Freak's Lancer?
Oh, I mean, Mihail was waiting for it. Seemed like he had a pretty good idea. And yeah, we're going to just throw in the Rift Herald on the top side. This will definitely go down. So they say, well, the jungle, Elise, and the bottom side of the map not going great, even though she does have 3 very nice tomes that she did pick up. But maybe we can play around our Jax. Maybe we can play around winning the side lane. And Lancer, a great player. I mean, he's already gotten the solo kill onto Mihail once. Could definitely see it happening.
Well, if it's not a true 1v1, though, could
that's
be disastrous.
Oh no, 1v2? This isn't fair.
Lancer's still looking for it.
Hey, he might just get it. Mihail can't run away quite fast enough. Lands the stun, and that will be quite enough as it became 3-on-1.
Sad times, Valdez up here for Kwangdong Freaks, but Courage once again up in the front here with Andil, but no damage.
Yeah, they're not quite able to burst through that one. You can see that Kalix is going to go into that ultimate for now. He could follow up here as in he goes again. Huge burst on the bull, but again, you know, you gotta follow up a little bit. Huge Featherstorm finally coming through from the Xayah. As everybody's super low health. Not the cleanest fight from Nongshim, but they still might be able to pick up 1 kill as finally now the feathers are flying forward. The reconnection from the side of Kwangdong Freaks, probably not the look they were looking for. And that is going to be 4 kills to the side of Nongshim. Maybe it was all just a bait to get their Jax even more fed, but as you can see, Brahma's got a door.
Mihail is pushing the inner turret at the moment. Boy. So it's all coming full circle.
I'm a bit sad. Mihail's like giggling a lot. I feel like Kwangdong are a little bit mental boom at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they're just tunneling a little bit. Like stuff like this where you're trying so desperately to pick. Who are you trying to pick? Sounda is a Sejuani. Xayah can just press R if you get on top of her, and Akali is extremely mobile and has all of this backup. So you've tunneled super hard into this choke, and then this hook actually barely hits the Akali. And Kalix still has flash, so he can get out of here. He's actually fine. And that, like, without that play even happening, you don't even get anything. You don't actually feel good about this at all. And then Jack shows up, but it's too late, unfortunately. Speaking of, I don't think you ride that shuriken, but the gold graph is looking...
It's getting worse.
It's getting worse. And the 2,000 gold on the Sejuani is because Sounda stole some kills in the early game and then kind of ran away with jungle control.
Yeah, I think it's also because Courage just hasn't been able to be on the map because he just keeps dying.
He probably gets my PUG vote, I think, right now, Sounda, but...
That's fair. 8 out of 9 kill participation. He's been hitting all of these over and over. Bull doesn't have flash, so he's just dead once again. The Sejuani ultimate is perfect, and even though it is cleansed right away, it does not matter. Wolf is looking like a short one now, man.
Yeah.
Nongshim are really running this lead as far as they possibly can.
Baron spawn is actually probably a good time to just take Baron right now in this comp with the control they have. Respawn here is still pretty low, but even a respawn isn't going to be enough. You don't have enough damage. I think I missaw. Maybe chat can let me know, or maybe Yundo's going to let me know, maybe even in chat. But it looked like Sejuani has so far in this game out-damaged the Xayah, which is pretty hilarious if I saw that correctly. By like maybe like 100 damage or something. It was very close, but
Ju's also like doing pretty well. He's like 5-1. Lancer in a little bit of trouble, but he's the only guy who's got any
I may have misread
items.
it, but I was like, maybe it wasn't damage, maybe it was some different status.
He's got okay. Well, even Lancer at this point is like, well, I'm pretty fat. I should be okay, right? No. Get Oblivion orbed.
Yep, that's the answer. It all comes back to that early item. That's what this game is all about. No, it's actually about the Sejuani just completely controlling the early game, and unfortunately, Courage fishing for a little bit too much and getting punished several times. 0-4 this game. And Courage is my boy, man. He's the one I've been talking up so much.
Yeah.
I've been saying he's really good on this pick. He's been one of the shining lights for this team, even in losses. And this is unfortunately looking like it's going to be his first. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be his first loss on at least this season. But
well, let's see if they can stop this Baron to start. It is a 10,000 gold lead here for Nongshim. So definitely not going to fool you guys into thinking this is a close one, but they are going to go for the fight here and give it one last go of it. A big root onto multiple members there as Lancer's looking for the angle, jumps onto the Dominus, immediately tries to jump out as a massive Renekton is right in the back line, and this wallet is so heavy, you would not be able to pick it up.
Ooh,
I believe we're just going to get out of here, and Anvil is he's just left to the wolves. And I'm not talking about the caster.
well, I'm not saying anything bad about him or anything, so like,
Leave him alive. Oh, come on.
delaying his respawn timer. He overwatched him, Valdez.
What is the Nautilus gonna do? Just leave
Wait,
him
hold
there.
on. Let me see the total damage. Well, it's definitely past him now. I mean, with these numbers here, it's definitely he's definitely past him now. But maybe at that time it was still pretty close.
All right, Wolf, it's time to put your pog vote in.
I'm gonna put my pog vote in. That's what I gotta do.
I just did it.
Yeah.
Well, viewers, we could have had a 9-game day instead. Life took a 2-0 over T1, and now Nongshim looked pretty primed to take the 2-0 over Kwang.
This is without College, by the way. This whole fight. No College. Is he there yet? No. Is he there? No, he's not there yet.
He's still.
Is he there?
No.
No, we're still waiting. He's
How about now?
Still, yeah, he's not quite there. Now at the very end,
Not at the end of the replay.
Not at the end of the replay. Very true, Valdez.
Yeah, he was not in any of the replay.
He's only 2,000 damage behind, actually. I think I was right. I think he
Wow.
actually was ahead in damage when we saw that graph earlier.
Holy guacamole. Mihail, where are you going, buddy?
He wants to kill the minions!
He almost got the minions!
I mean, he sliced and then he diced.
Yeah, he almost got one. Okay, he got one there. Good job. Just baiting in the team, I guess, as the
Baiting
rest
them where they
of
trade half a Nexus, or half a
okay.
health bar for a Nexus? 1/3 of a health bar for a Nexus? No. Any takers? Any takers? Empowered recalls.
Hey, Kevin Kim, yes, Nila was picked in the second, in the first game. A little bit of an outlier in that one, though. Kwangdong kind of did not have the best draft, but you can watch. That is Kalix. He's just going to Zhonya's the Nautilus ultimate and say goodbye to that one. It does, in fact, disappear. It does not go into orbit like Ash Arrows. That one just goes into the ground, and we never see it ever again.
It's very sad.
Yeah. This one looks to be pretty over, guys. 24 minutes. Nandil's still trying to hook, but he's only going to get minion at this point in time. Lancer and the team desperate to not get 2-0'd, but it's looking pretty doomed. As Cleaver stole the Xayah ultimate, that was pretty cute, but not able to do anything with those feathers. So that's going to be the end of it, guys. 24 minutes. Nongshim put the hurt on in this best of 3 and make it 2 games that Kwangdong will want to forget.
Yeah, really one-sided affair here. I mean, game 1, I feel like game one was worse because it was just so desperate. And there was a lead in terms of money. There was a lead, it felt like, in terms of momentum. But you and I both knew, itemization-wise, they were never going to be able to convert on that lead. Game two just felt like there was a lot of opportunity that was missed. And Courage, he had tried his hardest to define the game, and he did. It just wasn't the way. It wasn't the way he wanted.
Yeah, a lot of these players, they're still very young, and Courage definitely, alongside of a lot of the Kwangdong members, they still have a lot of potential. They are great players in their own right, but one of the big things that they struggle with sometimes is consistency as they get more and more used to the pro scene. And Courage has had fantastic games, and then games like these, which he'll probably want to forget. And it'll be up to him and the coaching staff to kind of get through it alongside of Kwangdong and try to bounce back from this.
The Sejuani damage was real. He really he really hit his ultimates. He was where he needed to be. The double melee soul lanes really helping him out in terms of setting up those permafrosts. That was pretty solid game. It's the kind of gold graph you want to see if you're a Nongshim fan. It's just converting your lead into a bigger lead, taking that early Baron.
Sorry, I was reading chat, Wolf.
It's okay.
Kevin Kim, he's a big Neela fan. He thinks that it is a very strong pick right now. He could have been so smug about it being banned in Game 2, but he missed his chance because he wasn't watching Challengers. Whose fault is that?
Kevin, honestly, I had Kevin in like my top 3 Challengers / Academy fans, but he didn't show up today, so I don't know. He might be sliding down to like maybe top 5. Because I think like the 4 of us now, we're top 4, you know?
Yeah, true.
He was busy. Well, Challengers isn't going to wait. Sounds like you need to get your priorities straight.
Challengers waits for nobody.
Yeah, sounds like you need to get your priorities straight, Kevin. I love you, man, but...
Explain the goal difference graph.
So the x-axis is time, the y-axis is how large the goal difference is. The red color indicates that it's Nongshim's advantage. If there was for a moment, as you could see, around 6 to 7 minutes, a small spike there for Kwangdong Freaks, about maybe 50 gold or so. You could see that was a little bit more Kwangdong colored. And the type of graph you want to look for is one that looks like this, that it is just kind of exponentially growing. So you're taking one lead, turning into a bigger lead, which turns into a bigger lead, so there's less chance for your team or your opponent's team to come back. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like entrance into the ocean. You know what I mean? Like how it like starts off
the
as
continental
a beach.
shelf.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot the name of it. The continental shelf. Earth science enthusiast.
Okay,
here.
so this guy almost got out-damaged by the Sejuani who carried the game, and he stole POG. We're going to have a little talk with Korean commentators next week. We're going to have a little...
Are you here?
Little chat with them next week. I mean, he had a good performance on the Xayah, no doubt, and he did a lot of damage in the later parts, and he actually baited, arguably, like some of those bad team fights at the bottom side of the map.
It was all a bait, though.
Yeah, maybe...
he had Featherstorm. He's like, you don't remember what Xayah does, right? Kwangdong are like, nope, I don't know.
What's his CC score?
It's probably at least in the thousands, right? It's probably at least 1,000 or 2,000, at least. Yeah. Well, we tried our best, guys. We voted for jungle, and again, we are outnumbered, but that is the way it is. Sometimes when we vote for the player, we are the ones that push it over to our side. So that's the fun thing about votes, is that everybody gets a chance to put in their opinion, and then the best opinion wins. And in this case, the best opinion was Jude.
Yep. I guess we're just not qualified to vote Valdez.
I mean, we are. We did.
I'm kidding. Don't take our voting rights away. Well, I have good news, guys. So Valdez and I, we told you guys earlier, we want to get some nuggies because of the whole nuggie mayonnaise thing. I put a call in because I know another place that has nuggies. It's Valdez's house, so his wife heat up nuggies just like he likes it, and
in the microwave.
In the microwave, and he's got a nuggie. He's gonna eat it on stream. So we brought the nuggies for you guys, or actually he ate some of them in the last break between game 1 and game 2. So the last nuggie, that was literally the last nuggie. So there you go. I thought you guys wanted to see Valdez eat a nuggie. Yeah, the mayo is pre-added. Don't worry, it's in there. Yep, he really ate a nugget, and was eating nuggets during the break as well. That was the last one. Sorry, we can't send any, unfortunately. Thank you guys for tuning in.
That was a great nuggie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mayo was like baked in straight from the microwave. Somebody was asking about the method before. You want to take them straight out of the freezer. You put them in the microwave and wait until they get like really soggy, right? And that's when you drizzle the mayonnaise on. And then you put them back in the microwave. But this time on like the defrost method, so they kind of it kind of like soaks in the mayonnaise and it gets into the breading. That way you get like this really nice and soggy mayonnaise nugget. Yeah.
We did it. We got the nugget. So maybe a challenger stream no longer about soup. We're changing it to nugget meta.
Yeah, I mean, one stream at a time. Chronicler had such a big head start with the soup. Like,
I ate mine with honey mustard because I'm normal about how I eat my nuggets. I'm not normal, but I'm normal about how I eat my nuggies. I just want to thank you guys for watching, by the way.
There's some people in the chat that are like, oh my God, that's disgusting. I can't believe that you would do that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of with them, but
it was, yeah.
Look, guys, follow the Twitch stream.
It was a chicken nugget from a brand.
The channel, Valdez. All right, we promoted your weird nuggy tendencies, but now we're gonna promote the channel.
Okay, yes.
Follow the Twitch stream, please. Chat. If you guys are here, follow the YouTube stream by pressing subscribe because that's the term that they use over there in our nephew's chat. It's very weird over there, but they'll get it together eventually. Check it out.
They're trying. They're getting better.
More challengers tomorrow. It's going to be Atlas and Chronicler bringing up the 2 series day. So check it out. 2 series Tuesday, as we like to call it.
Yeah, that's the official term.
Yeah.
And just like you got Saturday Showdown in the LCK, it's 2 series Tuesday here at Challengers. And
Mini Series Monday, 2 Series Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wacky Wednesday.
Thinkers Thursday.
Yeah.
Just have a little break, where you kind of
Freeload Friday.
Of course, it's always freeload on Friday. What's Sunday then?
I don't know. What is Sunday? Hold on.
I think Sunday is just unnamed.
Yeah, I don't know. Not Sassy Sunday. No, it's a good idea, but I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's called something else, but it's a good idea. You can follow the two of us on social media if you want to keep
This
up with
feels
us.
like we're doing Pro League in 2014.
I'm Proxy Wolf. He's at Brendan Valdez. We do occasionally tweet about League of Legends. We do occasionally tweet about non-League of Legends. We sometimes...
we both have cats.
We do on Instagram. You can find all sorts of things about find all sorts of things about what we eat, pictures, videos, cat interactions, social media, Instagram. Where's my VHS tapes?
You gonna follow me on
Where's
TikTok?
my 8-track player? Do you still both play StarCraft? I do. I wouldn't say like before the season started, I'd play pretty regularly. I don't have time to play at all right now, but
yeah. Can your cat floss? Of course.
Yeah. I
definitely
do get my cat's teeth checked pretty regularly.
Well, that's pretty much the end of the stream, guys.
Pretty much.
If you're here at the
Not
end,
completely,
this is
but,
like the bonus
almost.
content, It's like the secret like ending at the end of a movie, like all the credits rolled. Like we saw the POG, we talked about the stats. Generally this stream would end now, and we say, okay, thanks for watching. But now you're just kind of watching us sit here and talk.
No, I mean, Heverton, we can work on getting you a Brazilian localization for this stream, but I guess you're stuck with us for now.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Too bad.
Very
I guess.
sleepy.
Unlucky.
Very, very sleepy.
Oh, it was
It's been a long
it was
day.
less than 8 hours a day, actually, though.
Yeah.
We have been here since
At the end of the day,
12.
it was only 7 games.
Yeah, no, it's an easy day,
Oh,
man.
almost failed the math there on stream. 3 plus 2 plus 2. That was difficult.
It's a pretty easy day for us, but unfortunately a pretty rough day for T1 and Guangdong Freaks. The first series ended up being the best one with the upset win for KT Rolster. And these are our results for today. I do wonder if KT can keep up the momentum or if D plus Kia with the robust sister team in the LCK can actually bring it back. Because it was a close series. But maybe KT are going to be the favorites for this season.
I mean, they were able to kind of knock down D plus in a couple of games in a row. It was a rough game one for them, and then they immediately turned it around, and they looked much better, very dominant in 2 games. So, yeah, maybe just a weak day for D plus. Maybe they were trying some stuff. You know, they tried to run back game 1 comp, so perhaps they just wanted to see if they can make it work. It's still very early on in the Challenger League season, so yeah, it's definitely difficult to call, who's going to win the whole thing or who's going to be dominant. But KT gave a great look. They keep improving. And you and I, we've kind of been on this KT Challengers hype train for a little bit now, a couple weeks. And I'm curious to see how far it can go.
Yeah, I think they have a really solid roster, and their decision-making is getting better. Guangdong Freaks, I think this is kind of a down week for them, at least in this the first match of the week, because I had a lot of faith going into this series that they were going to keep it competitive, and both games kind of fell flat for me. The drafting a little bit weaker in this series than we've come to expect from them, and then just the execution of the early game, some overextensions from Courage, uncharacteristic mistakes. Tomorrow, though, some bangers.
2-match Tuesday.
Yeah, 2-match Tuesday from the east side of the bracket here. Some Breon versus DRX. Breon coming off their first game win of the season, and then Gen.G's Global Academy takes on Loop Sandbox Youth. And those matches will be at the times listed here for Korean Standard Time. You can convert them into your own local time zone if you want to know when they are for you. Just for reference, that first matchup, Breon versus DRX, is about 4 hours and 17 minutes before the current time. So think about it that way.
Yeah. That's cool. Should be fun matches tomorrow. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be making sure that our boys Atlas and Chronicler are not too lonely, Yeah,
I'll be popping by for sure.
Yeah.
Getting some rest at home.
If you're a Giga Chad, make sure to tune into the first series. You would also tune into the second series because you are a Giga Chad, and of course you're looking to support all the teams as a bro fan, regardless of which team you're a fan of.
True.
Joby from YouTube chat says Faker.
That's all.
Yeah, that's.
He had nothing more to add.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
He also didn't uppercase it. I think that's disrespectful to Faker, to be honest.
Yeah, nothing else to say, I guess.
Yeah.
Just kind of saying his name.
I mean, it is kind of a base take, but Teamy in the chat, Teamy05, put his name with a capital F.
There you go. And a period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the period implies that's all that needs to be said.
I think Faker's genuinely one of the most mentioned players in LCK CL broadcasts, especially in the YouTube chat.
They do have a proclivity to mention his name.
He is a very famous player around the world.
Very super famous. A lot of people know he exists.
A lot of people know he exists, man. It is great. Faker, okay.
Love the quality content. Thank you. We are trying our best here to keep it entertaining for you guys because the level of play, not always the same as it is in the LCK, but we're getting closer. That's the point. We're trying to bridge the gap.
Yeah. We're showing off some of the best players that aren't yet in the LCK. So if you were here for the entire broadcast, you are amazing. If you were here for just a single second and you just joined now, you are also amazing. Either way, guys, we're done here for tonight. It was a fun day. We will see you on Wednesday for us, but also Tuesday tomorrow for more Challengers content. Bye-bye.